Edited by Alduck.
My name's Alduck. I don't want to make this intro too long, but you've all been asking me to make an After Effects editing tutorial. Here you will go. Okay, so we're now in After Effects and I've got my clip in here and the song already. Before I even do anything, I want to mark out what the first beat drop is, and I can actually already see where it is over here by looking at the waveform. So I'm going to just click my marker button. So now what we can do is drag in our clip. That's where it starts, so I'm going to cut that there. So let's just play through this clip. Lovely. Just to let you all know, I do edit in 30 FPS. So what we're going to start off by doing is actually marking out where the clip starts over here. So now I want to mark out what sync points I want to do. Alright, lovely. Now that I know that this is where I want to start the time remap, I usually like to split the clip over here, and I'm going to do Ctrl-Alt-T to start the time remap. What I'm going to do first is, this is where I'm going to put a cinematic. Okay, so I want this to be right before I shoot over here, right there. That is lovely. I want these two shots here to be flintlock shots, so I'm going to drag that down right before I shoot that flintlock, and I'm gonna do the same for this one, and I'm gonna split the clip there since there's gonna be a cinematic, and drag that here. Click U to show the keyframe and put that right where I shoot. I want the shot, since there's a lot of bullet travel time, this is quite a unique clip, so I'm gonna make this shot on the beat drop, and then the other beat after that I'm gonna do it the hit marker. So what I'm gonna do actually is make this super slow-mo. We haven't actually done the graph yet, so we're gonna do that now. What I like to do first is enable frame blending as pixel motion, right click, frame blending, pixel motion. Drag all these keyframes, right click, easy ease. The graphs are going to be, the steeper the curve, the faster it is. The flatter the curve, the lower the gradient, therefore the lower the time. So I like to go fast, then slow, then fast. So that actually looks really nice. Okay, that actually does look really nice. The next thing I'm going to do is show you all a little trick that I have on my sleeve, which not a lot of people actually know about. So you can see, especially over here, like, what on earth even is that? It looks awful, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is add CC Force Motion Blur, and this does use up a lot of CPU, I gotta be honest, so you've all got to be very careful with this. If you got bad PCs, it will take a lot of time to pre-render, but if you just drag that on just like magic, it will fix the frame blending warping, and you can keep the default settings and it would be like, it's perfect. Gonna move on, and I always like to do my background shake and chromatic aberration first. This tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a lot of stuff from my editing pack, because it is packed full of stuff. The effects used in this video are going to be based around the ones used in that pack. However, of course, there will still be transitions and stuff which we're going to do, which are going to be like completely based off raw learning skills and stuff like that, like graphs. So even if you can't buy the pack, you're still gonna learn a lot here. If you head into the presets, you should see this CC1 plus tilt shake. You've really got to alter the settings here. These are made for you to alter these. So we want the master scale to be around 0.4, and we want to increase the radius and increase the fall off, and that is a good chromatic aberration, how the edges are just sort of blurred out. I like to create another adjustment layer below this one, where I'm gonna add another CC. And there are loads here you can pick from. Some of them already have chromatic aberration on the sides of them, so you don't want to have a double duplicate layer with chromatic aberration on it too. Okay, this one's actually quite nice, you know. I'm going to go into the basic correction of lumetri color. Lumetri color is the main color correction tool that I use. It's really personal preference with what you will like the most. You know what? That's actually really nice. Yeah, the CC Force Motion Blur is definitely going to take a toll on your PC if you have a bad PC. Oh, my After Effects is frozen. Absolutely lovely. it crashed. Alright, so it turns out the leaf color was making my PC crash, so before it happens again, I'm just going to completely remove this layer over here. I like the start of the clip over here, but the song, I feel like it would look really good with some S_flicker. I'm going to add this onto the clip. I'm going to increase the frequency but decrease the amplitude a little bit, just to create this sort of ambience. What I love to do for the start of my clips is go around 2 to 3 frames, cut this over here, Control-Alt-T that, time remap it, put a start and an end keyframe, drag the start keyframe, make that pixel motion, and you can see we got this really nice sort of slow-mo start to the clip. The song over here is mainly just all hi-hats. However, when it goes into the fast part of the clip, I want to really emphasize that it's going into the fast bit. So what I'm going to do here is get one of my presets from my pack, and I think this is going to be Impact 1 that I'm going to pick. Yep, lovely. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an impact with you lot over here. However, since there are hi-hats, I don't want to add shake. Add lens blur OBS, decrease the iris scale. I'm going to make it keyframe down to 0. Easy ease that. I'm going to use a speed graph for this since it's an basic effect. Drag the 2 points like that. What we're going to do now is add a bit of hue sat bright, and we're going to copy the same graph with the brightness. So I'm going to keyframe around 1.7. Easy ease, drag that like that. Drag this, and you should have something that looks like this right now. Lovely. Instead of using the regular pan crop, the regular transform, I want to make this easier and put this on an adjustment layer instead. So I'm going to add warp transform. I'm going to keyframe the Z disc because I want it to be a little bit of a zoom in impact. I'm going to make this around 0.6. Do something that looks right for your clip. I pasted it over here, by the way, because there's another hi-hat here and there's another hi-hat here. This is where the time remap starts, so we want there to be shake. So I'm going to copy this impact that I put over here. It's too bright because I don't want it to be that bright. So I'm going to remove the hue sat bright. I'm going to duplicate it again. As you can see, I've got 2 shakes on here. I've got this one and I've got this one. I want to get rid of this shake. I want to keep this shake, but I'm going to decrease the keyframes over here. I think we can add a bit of pan crop here. So I want to get quite a funky pan crop on this one. I'm going to keyframe the Z disc and the rotate it a little bit. I'm going to bring these keyframes to where the impact hits over here. Easy ease them. We're going to go into the value graph instead of the speed graph. I'm going to drag this one all the way this way. We're going to decrease this one up. Okay, same graph, but we want to put it upwards like that. As you can tell, we don't have a kill effect either. This one I'm going to use for my preset pack, I think. I'm going to just pick the default one that I have. Lovely. Right, let's see how it all looks together so far. That looks really nice. What I'm going to do is go into Fortnite and I'll see you all in there so we can record the cinematic. So now we are in Fortnite. First things first, we want to whack up these settings. So I'm going to put anti-aliasing on epic, shadows on high, effects I'm going to put on high, post-processing on epic because they've really updated the graphics settings. So we want to do it right when I pull out my hunting rifle. I'm going to use drone attach for this one scene over here. That was pretty good. Alright, so we're back in After Effects. We just got our cinematics, so I'm just going to drag that in there in between the clip and the kill, and I'm going to go to the point where the actual scene starts. I'm going to cut the clip at the end, start the time remap, add a point there, and we're going to scroll through to where we want to stop this in. We can ease it now. We can turn on frame blending as well. We can do a fast, slow, fast graph for the cinematics. For my black bars, I've got a little trick which not a lot of editors use, and so all this is over here is an image of a PNG transparent black bar. Add a keyframe on the scale. I'm going to go a few frames before 1, 2, 3, 4 and increase the scale just to when you can't see the black bars. I'm going to copy the keyframes over here, highlight them and time reverse them, and look at this. For the cinematic now, first of all, we're gonna need to transition it. For fast transitions like this, I prefer to use blow-mo curves, and editors hate that I use blow-mo curves, but keyframe the Z disc and the shift X. This cinematic is going along the X axis over here. Make it so that the transition is going from the swiping to the right, just like the cinematic is. I'm gonna increase the shutter duration to 2.1 to increase the motion blur. I'm gonna make the shift X minus 350 and the Z disc to 0.3. And the beauty of using blow-mo curves is that you can just copy and paste a layer and time reverse these keyframes 1.4. I'm gonna make this 350. Now we're gonna do the more advanced stuff now. So I'm gonna pre-compose it, and I'm gonna move all the attributes into a pre-comp. So I'm gonna set the quality to half because my PC can't handle full. Double click the layer so it opens up in the layer editing panel, and I'm gonna select the Rotobrush because then that will allow me to do more. And this is really where ideas sort of start to come in place. Like, you've really got to have your ideas set for what you want to do with the cinematic. I just want to sort of get the first frame right, okay, and obviously get rid of that. And I'm gonna zoom this in so I can actually see what I'm doing with the Rotobrush. And yeah, I'll speed up this process heavily so you guys don't have to watch this because it can be pretty boring. Alright, so we've just done the Rotobrush. You're not done yet with the Rotobrush. What you've always got to do is click the freeze button. What this does is it stops it from being changed anymore. Now you can see here we got a very rough Rotobrush, and that happens. So we're going to feather it quite a bit. We're going to reduce the chatter by 100, shift the edge a little bit. What we're going to do now is duplicate this layer. I'm going to delete both of these, add lens blur to the background. Okay, so I added a few other things inside here, not too much. I'll just play it through so you guys can see what I've added. So I did a little bit of vignette there and a bit of VHS, and on the cinematic I just added some glow, and I added another vignette as well as some pan crops, so a slight rotation on it. So yeah, I'm gonna set this to render quickly so you guys can see it again in full quality.